Hi, friends. Happy Friday. It's the end of another week, and I hope that you're doing well. This is Angela with Wild Violets Art. Thank you so much for joining me this morning for my scrapbooking and scripture Facebook Live. I just have had a really busy week. I hope that you had a good one as well. And there was a scripture, and that I had. I need to find it again. And I just have had such a, I don't know, just an encouraging week with that. I hope that, you've been able to have a good week as well. One of the things that I learned from this women's retreat that I went to a couple weekends ago was that I just need to break some of these patterns that you tend to do, and you accept what Satan brings at you. And so I just continue to try to find scripture that help me find peace, because I think that he likes to stir things up. And so this is the verse that I found this week. It's Matthew 5:9. How blessed you are when you make peace, for then you'll be recognized as the true child of God. And it's not, I took this not as making peace between myself and someone that's in discord, but in making peace with myself and God, just making sure that when I'm taking time for him, hey, good morning, Linda, that I'm also making sure that I bring my soul at peace, so that I'm not being distracted with thoughts, negative thoughts, or anything that kind of breaks that peace that I have with God. So hopefully that scripture will be of some help with you. And now we'll get to my favorite part, which is the new Memories in Bloom scrapbooking kit. So this is a really beautiful kit. I think it's geared mostly for Mother's Day, but I think there are lots of options that you can do otherwise. My Mother's Day this year was a little disappointing. We weren't able to spend any time with the kids except for my son, and he pretty much did his own thing all day. But so I'm celebrating what I did have from this Mother's Day, and I got to spend some time in my garden, and I've been watching my tulips grow. I think you've seen some of the pictures of them. So this is going to be, something that I did for myself last year, was planting all these tulips. Now, of course, not everything went up. There was a bunch, or came up. There was a bunch of crocuses, and I did get the grape hyacinth, and I did get 3 daffodils out of, I don't know, 25 or 50 daffodils that I planted. But what I didn't get was, or I only got 1 snowdrop. So, but the tulips came up and they were so pretty. I mean, just look at the colors. So anyway, I'll be doing some scrapbooking for those. But this is the little grape hyacinth. Isn't that pretty? And then, of course, I have wild violets, because every spring, that's the thing that I look for. And I have brought some to my yard, but the ones that are out in the wild too, I try to capture them because they're so pretty. And of course, that's what my little page is about, is wild violets. Okay, so if you're going to your catalog to find these Memories in Bloom, and I've also put a link here that gives you access to all the memory keeping, and it'll give you all the kits. So if you go to page 13, it starts talking about workshop kits. And the first one in there is Memories in Bloom. And this workshop kit is $33. And so it's a great deal, and you don't have to stamp. So this is just laying out your layouts. There's cutting. Obviously, you'll need a cutter, but There's no stamping involved. Then if you go to page 40, there is page after page of the Florals in Bloom, which is the coordinating suite collection that goes with this Memories in Bloom. So you've got beautiful papers, because there's more than what's in the kit. You can see that there's all these different patterns, and the kit doesn't have everything. But there's also 2 stamp sets, one that is just the florals, and then one that is these beautiful sentiments, the Lovely in Bloom. You've seen me use those in my scrapbooking since I got the pre-order. And of course, there's lots of samples, lots of ideas, but there's also some scrapbooking ideas. So there's that. Okay, so that's page 42 through 47. Whoops, 40. It's like 8 pages. And then the last area is here in Scrapbooking from Scratch, which is starts at page 65, but 66 is Memories in Bloom again, and it allows you to get the DSP and the sticker sheet. So this is the DSP that is in the suite collection and the sticker sheet, and then you can also get the Memories in Bloom 12 by 12 cardstock. And there are some of those in here, but not all of these colors. So this kit does not include all of these colors, and it does not include all of these designer series paper sheets, and it also does not include this stamp set. So these are extras that you can purchase, but it does have the sticker sheet. So just so you kind of understand, it took me a little bit to go back and forth to figure out what Stampin' Up! Was doing, but they were for people that want to be more creative and they want to stamp more and they're not tied to just what's in the kit. This is the way to go, but I like to combine them both because I think the kits are a great resource. It's really easy. If you're in a hurry, you want to get something done, or you're just, my brain's not working. So you can always, just continue to just do something really simple. So, okay, so let's start with the kit. So that kind of just goes through what the catalog has to offer, but all this is online as well, and I've given you a link for that, so you can take a look. All right, so let's go through the kit. I'm going to pull everything out with the back sheet. So just to kind of give you an idea, the Bubble Bath, the colors for this kit are Bubble Bath, Cloud Cover, Darling Duckling, Garden Green, Granny Apple Green, Peach Pie, Petunia Pop, Pretty in Pink. I mean, there's like a bunch of pinks here. Secret Sea, Shy Shamrock, Strawberry Slush, Summer Splash, Timid Tiger, and Timid Tiger, yeah. So just about all of the in colors that are current, and then a couple other colors as well. All right. So the best part of this kit, of course, is well, it's not the best part, but it's a great part of this kit, is the Memories in Bloom PDF. It's in color. It shows all the different designer series paper, the direction that you should be cutting it. So you make sure you follow the directions. And then it gives you also the layouts and measurements as to where each item goes. So if you want to copy it, perfectly, this is the way to go. If you're more independent, then you can just make with it what you will. But this is a great resource for those that are beginning in their scrapbooking, or they don't want to have to think. Okay, not that you don't think, but this makes it more complicated. Okay, so this is a little bit different than what is in the designer series paper. So you can see that this is the back side of this one, and then this one, this is the back side. So that's very similar to the designer series paper. And then there's this one, and they only give you one of these. So this also matches the designer series paper. And then this is similar to the designer series paper. Let me just kind kind of let you see the difference. So you can see that, okay, so this one is just like it. They just have changed things a little bit. So let me just kind of let you see that this one now has the green. Oh no, sorry, this is the one. Okay, so this is the one we have. We have this one as well. And then this one is, okay, so this is the one that's different. So it's this page, but instead of giving you this on the back, they gave you this on the back. So that was the difference. But anyway, but very much the same pattern. And then they'll do some custom patterns, which are these. And they're one-sided. So these you won't find anywhere else but in the kit. And they make a great background. And then this one as well. This is a pool party. And again, it makes such a great background. So I like them when they're really neutral like that, because then it makes your flowers really, or your pictures really shine. And then this is the two-tone cardstock. This must be the Darling Duckling. And as you can see, the colors are definitely different from one side to the other. So they give you one of those. And this must be the Granny Apple Green. So this is the opposite side. So I really like that color a lot. Actually, I like this one better than the darker one. Okay. And then this is the Secret Sky. And so you can see these are the two colors of Secret Sky. And so this is the two-tone cardstock. And now you can get a package of 12 by 12 two-tone cardstock now for every single color. And then this is Petunia Pops. So pretty. Really, really pretty colors. All right. Then we have the White Willow, which are great for scrapbooking as well. There's two of these. And then there's a sticker sheet. And then, of course, there's all your photo placeholders. And then we have an ephemera sheet, which is you punch out. These are, let me just bring these to the front. So here's a sticker sheet. So they have these long length pieces, which are great as well. And then Perfect Together. All Things Grow with Love. And then there's all these really wonderful sentiments that are great for just emphasizing the people or things that you have in your pictures. And then, of course, this one's about family, our love these days, Mother's Day. This is My Happy Place, Memories Made Here, and then a place for journaling, another one for journaling, and some beautiful pop-outs that you can add to your scrapbook page. So really, really pretty and great quality. You know, it's nice heavy cardstock. So great kit. Okay, so let's get started. So the ones that I was looking at for this kit, I'm just going to do a 2-page spread today. So I was going to create this one right here. Now, I am going to just scrapbook these 3 photos. Like I said, I didn't have anybody come over for this Thanksgiving or Mother's Day. So these are just going to be not about Mother's Day, but it's going to be about my garden. So I'm going to use some different sentiments than what they have in here. Okay. So, so we're going to do layout number 1. And so layout number 1 requires that we use this pool party, the 2 sheets of the designer series paper. We're going to be using one of these, and it wants us to use some of this for the background, which is this, and then there's obviously this as well. And then, yep, I think that's it. And then we're going to need some Petunia Pop and Secret Sky. Both of these for the frames of our photos. Okay. So the only thing I'm going to need to be careful of is making sure that I don't cut more than what I have. So I don't have 6 photos. I have 3. And so maybe I'll do just 1 page, but also the 3 that I have are all 4 by 4. So I don't have anything like 4 by 6 like this would be. So anyway, so we'll work on it, but we'll do it in a way that allows me to add more photos at a different time, because I've got more of my grape hyacinth, and I could add those to this picture as well. So, okay. All right, so let's put this aside and get our cutter. And then following the instructions. So I don't have any of these on my page, but I do have some of this. And then for every one of them that has to do with your page, so my page is layout number 1. Both my pages are layout number 1. Okay, so you can see the number 1. So these are for 1A, 1B, 1H, 1L. So anywhere where it says the 1. So that's what I want to be cutting for. Okay, so let's put this here. And okay, so it says this is the front, but this is the orientation that I need to have my cardstock when I cut it. Okay, so it wants a 1.5 by 12, or 1/2. So put my cardstock at, let's do it the other way. Okay, so here's 1 inch, here's 1/2. And then I want a piece that is 5.5 by 12. Okay, so this is where I need to be careful, because this is supposed to be a continuation of the same. So it gets separated a little bit on the layout. I'll show you what I'm talking about. You can see there is a section where this is a little bit separated, okay? All right, so I want to make sure that I keep this 5.5 inch by 12 inch piece right under that. All right, and then get these out of the way. Okay, and then the next one again will be 1/2 inch, and then the remaining is 5.5 inches. So I just want to make sure this is lined up. Okay, so here's both of these, and I'll keep these in order so that I can make sure that they work. All right, so then for this cardstock, again, this is the layout. So I need a 2 by 12. And I need a 1/2 inch. And then another 2 by 12 and another 1/2 inch. And then the rest of it is for another layout and leftover. So put that aside. Okay, and then let's see what else is for layout number 1. Okay, so here is where I need to be careful and recall that I only have a certain number of photos, and I'm not going to cut more than I have because I don't know what the size of my photos will be in the future. Okay, so I need, because my photos are 4 by 4, I'll need one of these to be 4 1/4. And because I have plenty of this, I actually have 2 sheets of this, and I only need, looks like it's only using 1 for the layout, which is great. So like I said, it can be quite a bit less, or quite a bit left over, so you've got lots of opportunity. Okay, so I'm going to be doing 4 1/4, and I'll cut 2 of them out because I'm not sure if I want them to be Petunia Pop or this color, the Secret Sky. So I need 2 of them that are 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then my photos will overlap just perfectly. And I like how the Secret Sky really picks up on some of the dark colors behind my photo, as you can see. That works out really nice. I really am happy with that. So the Secret Sea is a great color because it's just kind of a dark gray blue. And so I think that's perfect. And then this one has just a little touch of pink. So the Petunia Pop will be perfect for that. And again, I've got plenty to do 4 1/4. So let's do 4 1/4 again. This is the only complicated part, is it depends on your photos. If you're matching their photos exactly, then you can do anything you want. But just keep that in mind when you're cutting out, and just kind of take a look. So this is the photo. So do I want the dark or do I want the light? And I think I like the light a little bit better. So we're not going to adhere it yet, but I think that's it. That's all we have to cut. So now it's just following the directions. So I can put my cutter aside. And so here's our layout. All right. And I think I want these to go this way. They show them going up and down, but I'm more of a, let's do it this way. And it's interesting because they're the same color. Okay, definitely this is Pool Party for the color, but it's got a pattern, like a little bit of a watercolor wash, which is really pretty. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to have this band that goes across, and this is approximately where it goes. And then it does call out a piece of green that goes across the middle, but I don't think I'm a fan of that. I'm not, actually. So I'm thinking that I am going to leave that out because I like it better without it. And then we have this that can go on top. And then so it's about 1/4 inch. And then this is going to be about 1/4 inch. And I can overlap this if I feel like there's a little bit too much. So it doesn't have to be as big. I just have to remember when I do my next page to line them up and make sure they're the same. So I like that. It's really pretty. And then this is where you kind of put a dry, what do they call it? Dry placement. So I think this one here, and then I can do this one up here, and then my little grape hyacinth can be over here. And then instead of using the Mother's Day, so let's go to the stickers and the pop out. And I think that this sticker, All Things Grow with Love, is perfect. And I think Love These Days. And this is my happy place. So I think these three will be perfect. And then there's these florals that get placed with it, which I love. And then this will be journaling. And I have some more flowers that need to come out. And I'm thinking that Love These Days will be my title. And then I think the other page will be All Things Grow with Love. I think that works out. And I think that the stickers here go with the other page as well. So I think this is enough for this page. All right. So now that we kind of have an idea, this can go here and this can go here. Got some of these cute little flowers. And then I can journal below, or I can, let's see what they're doing for journaling. I suppose that right there would work. Okay, I think that works. Okay, so now it's putting it together. So I'm thinking that I'll keep these to the side. And that's the other thing I probably need to show you is on the back of the punch out, you can see that it talks about what goes with what project. And actually I have a bunch more of these little flowers that I can use, but they'll be for another page. And so you can see that it has all these different projects that they assign these items to. So I am using actually a sentiment from project number 2, but that's okay because this, you need to make this scrapbook page your page. So, okay, so I am using this. This is from scrapbook.com, and I wish that Stampin' Up! Had something like this, but it's a piece of silicone that keeps my paper in line, and it also allows me to use it to, as you can see, I can line things up. And because it's got such a sticky format to it, it's going to stay in place a little bit better. But I am going to use a little bit of this Post-it tape to keep my page in place at the top and the bottom. That way, I don't have to worry about things shifting as I accidentally move it with my sleeve, okay? So I am going to adhere this piece here, and then, or maybe I should start at the top. So this one here, this one about 1/4 inch down, and then I think that is a good layout. So let's start with the top. because this one goes underneath this one. And then I'm going to use my double-sided tear and tape. And it looks like I am working off screen. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to line this up with this white line. You can see going across my page. Maybe you can't see it because my fat fingers are in the way. But that helps me keep it level. And then this one goes next, and it'll be a quarter down. And now I'm going to just lift one side so that I can place it where it needs to go. And then I can take these off at my leisure rather than accidentally placing it in the wrong place. And I want to line it up with my cardstock on the left. And I'm going to press this side down. Oops. Get this cardstock out of the way. Press this down. And then I can slowly take that off. And then I can slowly take this off. And then as a reminder, I'm going to bring this, it's going to go here. And then I'm going to place this above it. So let's place this one first. Just making sure this is where it's supposed to be because I kind of want to make sure I keep this one level with it. And just going to use one piece. All right, so I think that's a good place for it. There we go. And now the last piece. And I'm going to just try to be careful with this. Try to keep it where it's supposed to go so it doesn't actually wiggle and go in the wrong place, just like that. Okay, there we go. And it looks like my scrapbook page moved anyway. Bummer. Let's see how off we are. Oh, not bad. So next time I need to use 4. All right, so this is not as important anymore, so I won't worry about it. So let me just put this down here. Keep it in place for a little bit while I try to. So now I'm going to put my photos on my backing or the frame. And I typically will do a frame in white, but this scrapbook kit doesn't have that. And I'm okay with that. I think this is really pretty using this Petunia Pop, the light side, to kind of go with the little bit of pink that's in this wild violet. I get so happy whenever I find little wild violets out there in my walks. I'm always looking for those. Okay. So I'm thinking this goes about 1 inch over. So you can see these are 1 inch lines. So, but you can also use your ruler. So that's 1 inch, and that's 1 inch. And then I'll do this one. Looks like I got carried away with this. A little too long. And I'm not worrying about making sure that I have lots of tape on all 4 sides, because just as a reminder, this goes in a sheet protector. And I need to show you the new albums. I bought the D-ring because I don't always scrapbook in order. And one of the things that I heard from some of the other people that were from close to my heart is that they tend to use the D-ring just to kind of keep track of what they're doing. And then once they feel like they've got everything done that they want for that period of time, then they put it in the post. So the difference between the D-ring and the post is the D-ring is like a typical bookbinder, you know, like you take to college or school or elementary or whatever. And then the post, it has posts that come up and down that screw on top of each other. And it's a little more, I don't want to say permanent. Not sure that my photos are actually lined up. Well, can't tell, but it almost looks like this one is cattywampus. So I'm going to just a slight, and I think that's all it needs. Okay. Last photo. Okay, so, and then the post binding is not permanent, but it's semi-permanent. So you pretty much, it's hard to get in and out of, so you pretty much want to have everything in place, and you don't want to be guessing as to, oh, I forgot this layout that needs to go right here. So that's what I'm going to do. Once I feel like I've got a period of time fully scrapbooked. I'm so behind. I'm trying not to jump around too much, but we take so many photos nowadays because we've got our camera in our pocket 24/7, just about. Anyway, all right, so this one I'm going to put here. Let me just kind of remind myself of what I'm doing here. So you can see that I've got these photos, I don't know, about 3/8 of an inch apart. So I'm going to do 3/8 of an inch again. Just make sure that I'm keeping it the same. And then we'll overlap here a little bit. And then I want this here. So I'm going to pop this up on some dimensionals. You don't need to. You can just use tear and tape if you like to. And I don't want them to be attached to my photos for memory keeping reasons. But I do love a little 3D element. I think I need to put these where I want them. So I'm going to put this here, and then I can place this where I want it. I don't want to cover up my flower too much. And then this, I want it to just be adhered and not pop up. And then we've got these little flowers. And then I've got this little sentiment that can go here. And then I can also do I think I'm going to use this one, and I'll save this one for my other photos. So let's just use some dimensionals for these little guys. And then this is the last one. Now I didn't do everything obviously exactly as the kit, but you can see that I kept the format pretty similar. Obviously I wanted the Secret C as the background to these two, because they had all these dark places in them in the photos, and this one because they had that little pop. So you can see there's some differences, but I love this. It's so pretty and it's just perfect. Okay, so now I was supposed to do this journaling up here, but I can do the journaling down here, and I can just, I'm going to just kind of leave that there so that I can take it out and journal, and then I can put it in when I'm done. So that's that page. So now we can work on the second page, and we're going to need to hold this here so that I can make sure that everything lines up for my second page. Okay, so we've got our background piece, and I think I'm going to turn it around so that the colors kind of match, because it goes from a little bit warmer of a pool party to a little cooler of a pool party. So let's line this up. And I'll put this in both corners, keep it in place. And then line this up with it. And now we can start adding these pieces. Okay. So when you're doing your layouts, it's nice when they start from one page and go to the next, and it's just something that continues. And if it's not exactly something that works too, they just need to be coordinating. And I've shown you coordinating ideas that don't necessarily exactly match, and that's okay. All right. My grape hyacinth are going crazy, but it's been weird because we've had these 80 and then nearly 90, high 80s and near 90. I think we got to 90 one of the days. It was 89, and then not sure. I didn't keep track exactly. But my poor little zinnias, I think they got a little burned because it was just a little too hot. And I had just planted them the weekend before, and it got really hot that week. So we just made sure we watered them every day, but I could tell that there was a little browning on the edges. So I'm going to go check them out as soon as I'm done with this, just to see if they survived. And then, of course, we had pouring rain yesterday, and we have torrential winds. So with all the winds, I just planted a peony, And of course that gets knocked over. So I've ordered some some things that will hold it up. Poor little thing. Give it a chance to survive. Oops. I think I'm just going to take this off. I think I've got it close enough that I've figured out about where it needs to be. And of course, I didn't go quite far enough over. One more. Make sure everything's still lined up like it's supposed to be. And of course, it's not. It's not staying down. Okay. So I think it's lined up right now. And these are not lined up. Let's just stick this guy down right where he needs to start. And then I can just make sure that it's level. There we go. All right. So this would be where I'm going to place my other photos, but I'm not sure what size they are or what photos they are. So I'm going to hold off. And I know that I want to use this, and I'm going to use another one of these for my stickers. And I think I talked about using, oh, here it is. Yeah. All things grow with love as well. So these will be coordinating. And let's just take a look at the instructions real quick. So this is the instructions for this one. And I kept it pretty much the same. And then for the instructions for this one, so they're wanting a couple of different photos here. And then actually I could do my journaling on this side as well, because it's going to be more of my little grape hyacinth because they're so pretty right now. I love this time of year. And then photos, the other flowers. So this is why I don't want to put my stickers down, because I still have photos to place. And so even though they use this for Mother's Day, this was my Mother's Day gift to myself, buying these gorgeous flowers and finding all these beautiful little flowers in the last week or so. So, all right.